At this time, I'd like to call the 25 November 2024 Jackson County Commission meeting to order. I'd like to say thank you everyone being here and welcome. Before we get started, I would just like to let everyone know with great sadness that we tell everyone that one of our county employees, a great young man, Nolan Ryan Jones, passed away this Saturday. I believe our county engineer will have a few more comments regarding that. But we do have a busy agenda tonight. They are having visitation tonight. As we can move through the agenda, we'll give time for those who would like to attend visitation tonight. So with that, I'd like to ask Mr. Hamrick, our county administrator, please call the roll to establish a quorum.
Commissioner Goley, Commissioner Kennemer, Commissioner Buckner.
Present.
Commissioner McBride.
Present. We do have a quorum, so if we would all please stand, I'll ask Sheriff Pine if he can lead our invocation, Commissioner McBride to lead our pledge of allegiance.
Let's bow. Father God, we pause to give you thanks for the many blessings you give us each and every day. We thank you for another day on earth. Father, we thank you for the blessings individually, as a county, and as a nation. Father, now we ask you to be with each and every one here today. Be especially with our commission as they make decisions that are important to this county and all the citizens therein. We ask these things, Father, in the name of your precious Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Attention. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In your packets is the agenda for tonight's meeting. Have been requested that we delete work session item 7C1, Revenue Commission increased mailing fee for tax. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the 25 November 2024 agenda with the deletion of work session item 7C1, Revenue Commission increased mailing fee for tax?
I'll make that motion.
So a motion, have a second?
Second.
Have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. At this time, what I want to do is I want to read a letter for the record that we have received regarding Assistant Emergency Management Director of Emergency Management, Mr. Josh Whitcomb. Many of you may not know that Josh deployed to North Carolina in support of relief efforts for Hurricane Helene and deployed to Flat Rock, North Carolina. So if I could, I'd like to read this letter. It says, you and your team of Alabama emergency management professionals worked with my National Guardsmen at the Relief Supply Warehouse in Flat Rock, North Carolina, and at the County Emergency Operations Center. This was an area that suffered extensive, severe damage from Hurricane Helene. Together, along with numerous local civilian volunteers, we executed wide-ranging operations that ensured relief supplies were received, managed, and effectively pushed out to a population in dire need. In 13 plus years of military logistics experience and a decade of manufacturing and warehousing experience, I cannot think of a time when an operation of this scale was stood up this rapidly and effectively. You and your team were simply fantastic to work with. You were endlessly positive, motivated, and adaptable. We established strong rapport and effective lines of communication with the shared goal of doing the most good as quickly as possible. You were open and kind to my soldiers and worked hard to ensure that we were taken care of so that we could put all of our energy into providing the warehousing and logistics expertise that our force package was activated for. I also feel privileged to have gotten to work with remarkable public servants such as yourself. The people of Alabama are better off for having you looking out for them. And as a native North Carolinian with friends and memories in the areas affected by Helena, I am grateful that we were able to borrow your service. Again and sincerely, thank you. Signed, Nicholas S. McBain, Major Logistics, 113th Sustainment Brigade, North Carolina National Guard. At this time, if the commissioners would please join me. And Charles? Please. What we would like to do is recognize Josh's great service in this effort. And Josh was gone, what, 2 weeks? 12 days. 12 days, while supporting the relief efforts in Flat Rock, North Carolina. People all over North Carolina with what they were doing with this warehouse and pushing supplies out. And so, Josh, we have a certificate of recognition that we want to present. And it reads, this certificate is given to Joshua Whipple by the Jackson County Commission in recognition of your outstanding support for the North Carolina National Guard during Hurricane Helena response efforts in Flat Rock, North Carolina. Presented on this, the 25th day of November, 2024 by the Jackson County Commission. Josh, thank you so much for what you've done.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Like I said, we have a pretty full agenda. Do we have any public comment tonight? No? Okay. So we will move into the new business portion of the agenda. First item of business is a motion to adopt the minutes from the October 28, 2024 meeting and work session. Those minutes are in your packet. I'll give you a moment to take a look. Do I have a motion to adopt the minutes from the August 28, 2024 meeting and work session?
Motion.
We have a motion, have a second?
Second.
A second, all in favor, say aye. Motion carries. We talked at our last meeting about additional holidays this holiday season, that being December the 24th to Christmas Eve Day and December the 31st, New Year's Eve Day. For additional holidays for our county employees. You'll have a motion to approve December 24th, 2024 and December the 31st, 2024 as extra holidays.
Make that motion.
We have a motion, have a second.
I'll second that.
We have a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Also at our last meeting, we had Sheriff Harnan discuss some budget amendments for the jail. That list of budget items that the budget amendment would be made for is in your packet. The budget amendment is to move cash balance for the jail to the jail budget. The amount of this request is for $300,000. Do I have a motion to approve the budget amendment for the jail?
I'll make it.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions?
I do, aside the boat covered lift, there's nothing listed there.
We don't have a quote on that yet, but we have a ballpark and that's included in the 300,000.
Okay, all right. It's
Okay,
very good.
all right. With that, any other questions? If not, all in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. As you know, we have, about a year and a half ago, we made a commitment to the Cab Jackson Water Authority to provide $200,000 to help them with funds for the clarifier pool that they needed to have upgraded. And also recently, remember that they, with the loss of a bladder, a 30,000 gallon water bladder. So this has become critical for Camp Jackson. That system supports about 3,500 homes in Jackson County. They have received the grant or the funding from Alabama Department of Environmental Management. They have received additional funding to support this work. The DeKalb County Commission is supporting with a $200,000 allocation of funds as well, and we are will support with $200,000. To approve that, we need to approve a resolution tonight for the allocation of those funds. That resolution is in your packet. I will read portions of it. It is a resolution to authorize agreement for the allocation of American Rescue Plan Act funds for eligible water infrastructure project. And it states, whereas Jackson County, Alabama has received American Rescue Plan Act fiscal recovery funds and is charged with ensuring that such funds are expended in accordance with state and federal law. And whereas ARPA funds designated as revenue replacement funds may be used for necessary investments in water and sewer infrastructure in support of government services. And whereas consistent with the Alabama Code, the county may provide funds to a local water district for the purpose of providing improvements to a water system as a government service to the citizens of Jackson County. And whereas by way of Resolution 2229, the commission conditionally allocated up to $200,000 of its ARPA funds to the DeKalb Jackson Water Supply District as part of the federal matching funds for a contact clarifier project, which was to be primarily funded by Alabama Department of Environmental Management State Revolving Fund. And whereas the commission is satisfied that the conditions set forth in the resolution have been satisfied, now therefore be it resolved by the commission as follows. The county shall use American Rescue Plan Act funds designated as revenue replacement funds to cover up to a total of $200,000 of the cost of the infrastructure project to construct a contact clarifier on the Tennessee River through a funding agreement with the DeKalb Jackson Water Supply District. The county hereby resolves to enter into a funding agreement with the DeKalb Jackson Water Supply District in substantially the same format as attached hereto. The chairman is hereby authorized to expend ARPA funds for cost of expenses of an eligible infrastructure project pursuant to the subaward agreement. The Jackson County, the DeKalb Jackson Water Authority has signed that agreement. We do have that agreement in-house for us to sign. With that, do I have a motion to approve and sign resolution to authorize agreement for the allocation of the ARPA funds for eligible water infrastructure project for DeKalb Jackson Water Authority?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. This past Friday, we had an opportunity to support a resolution and for our Jackson County retired teachers. That request had come in after our last commission meeting. And so with this resolution, we offered that resolution to our retired teachers with notice to them that we would in fact approve that resolution at this meeting. This resolution is in your packet and it reads Resolution 2425. Whereas public education is the foundation of our society and is the most critical element in the progress and enlightenment of our state and nation. And whereas the public educators in our educational system have carried the torch of knowledge, opening doors to the challenge and excitement of learning for countless youth. And whereas public educators, because of their deep and abiding love of children, have displayed a commitment to their students and dedication to their profession. And whereas our state's retired public educators have served long careers, laboring throughout their tenures to educate our state school children, and whereas retired public educators throughout Alabama are deserving of the highest praise and recognition our state can bestow for devotion to their professions, now therefore be it resolved that the Commission of Jackson County does hereby proclaim November the 19th, 2024 as Retired Teachers Day in the county and encourages all citizens to join together and pay tribute to its retired public educators. We are very pleased to have the opportunity to say thanks to our retired teachers and approve this resolution. So with that, do I have a motion to approve and sign the resolution for Retired Teachers Day?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. To have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. As you know, when we received the American Rescue Plan Act funding, the Association of County Commissioners of Alabama put together an organization to help counties as we executed the funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. That agreement that we signed with them will expire at the end of this year. And the Association of County Commissioners of Alabama, recognizing that the execution of those funds continues through December 2026, has offered that we can extend that agreement at no cost with a resolution. And that resolution is really an amendment to the Association of County Commissioners of Alabama Investing in Alabama Counties Program Maintenance and Support Membership Agreement is in your packet. So that agreement will extend the agreement to December the 31st of 2027. Do I have a motion to approve and sign the IAC agreement extension? We have a motion. Have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. And we really appreciate IAC working with us as we continue to execute our programs that we have initiated under the American Rescue Plan Act funding. A year ago, we initiated efforts to develop a Jackson County Economic Resiliency Plan. We established a steering committee to assist with efforts there and to be advisors to KPS in their work, doing that work for us. There have been efforts to reach out to citizens of the county with the surveys, town hall meetings. There have been focus groups that have been pulled together to discuss issues and ideas for Jackson County. Mayors of our county municipalities have been interviewed. And so our plan has been put together to identify issues in all economic sectors that we have in Jackson County. That plan was briefed to the commission about a month ago. It is at the point of commission approval. There will be some continued efforts as we look at funding opportunities and get support in developing plans for those funding opportunities to address some of the issues identified in the plan. So do I have a motion to approve the Jackson County Economic Resiliency Plan?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Let me open up for any questions. I think we have, do we have Jason on the line yet? Do we have a Zoom?
Good evening.
Jason, so let me, I'm going to open the floor up for any questions that the commissioners may have for you.
Yes, sir.
Questions? None? All right. So I think this is a short discussion with you, Jason. There we have no questions, and so we will move for a vote to approve the plan. So with that, do I have a motion? Well, we have a motion to approve the economic resiliency plan. We had a motion. We have a second. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jason. That's the shortest discussion I've had with you. So thanks again.
It was an honor.
Christine, thank you very much for being here. Next item on the new business agenda, we have a grant, local roads and safety initiative grant. And so there is a letter in your packet. It is from the state local transportation engineer stating approval of that grant. It is a grant for $200,000, $201,000. The federal amount of the grant is $181,346, and our requirement will be a 10% match of $20,149. Let's talk about sources of funding. And Mr. Hammer, County Administrator, can you discuss that?
Spoke with Jonathan, and I believe the source of funding that I would recommend would be the match, which is the 20,000 to come from Fund 119, which is the Severed Materials Fund. There's approximately $120,000 in that fund currently, and roughly 50,000 is committed to go towards the striping. So there's an available balance in that fund to cover that. The portion that will be reimbursed, I think it will need to come out of Fund 112 cash balance. And then when the reimbursement comes in, it will replenish the cash balance.
Yeah, the way the grant is set up, we pay up front, and then the federal government reimburses us. So those would be the sources of funds for this. Let me ask our county engineer to just give an outline of what the grant is for, so everyone knows for the record. Yes, please. We still need to, I think the microphone's in the ceiling now, so. Okay.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. As we alluded to last time we talked through this, if you still have the packets that were distributed, you'll see photos that probably describe it best in the least amount of words on the anticipated work for this. And it's bridge rail retrofit and new bridge end components. So the bridges that were selected were substandard rail and faulty rail, and these are upgrades. They coincide with safety initiatives that have been identified across the county.
Okay, any questions?
No, just comment. Thank you for doing this. I mean, this is making use of other money, which is what we want to do. So good work.
Thank you all.
Okay. So with that, do I have a motion to approve and sign funding agreement with the state of Alabama for a local road safety initiative program for public works?
Make that.
We have a motion, have a second. For a second, all in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. That's the last item in our new business portion of the meeting. At this time, we will move down to the work session. We have quite a number of items listed. The first is a commission item. The Habitat for Humanity has recently re-established presence in Jackson County and would like to ask Mr. Jeremy Fox to just give a rundown on what Habitat for Humanity is doing in Jackson County.
Thank you, Chairman. Again, my name is Jeremy Folks. I'm the Executive Director for Habitat for Humanity, the River Valley. We're one of 900 Habitat affiliates operating in the United States. And we're excited recently to increase our service area to include Jackson County. Our affiliate started in 1987 as Habitat for Humanity in North Alabama. And then as other Habitat affiliates popped up, we became Habitat for Humanity in Madison County. In 2022, we took over. Can I hand that one?
Yes, please.
We took over servicing Limestone County. And then earlier this year, the affiliate that was servicing Jackson County decided it was time to close their doors. They're having some struggles finding new volunteers and getting off the ground. So we acquired them, and we're excited to be servicing Jackson County. Our mission is seeking to put God's love into action. Habitat for Humanity brings people together to build homes, community, and hope. Hope being that key word. We envision a world where everybody has a decent, safe place to live. Currently, our affiliates served over 338 families. That actually includes a handful of families here in Jackson County that have gotten some new homes through our program. We currently have 6 homes under construction. All those are in Madison and Limestone County. We have what we call recycles. Those are homes that come back in our inventory that we're rehabbing to put families in. And we've also got 3 to 5 repair projects. I'm excited to announce we have one of those here in Jackson County. I'll talk a little bit about the funding on those in a minute. When you talk about Habitat, 5 minutes, Phil, we are basically 4 businesses under one roof. We're a social service ministry, we're a construction ministry, we're a lending ministry, and a restore ministry. We also do advocacy, resource development, because we got to make some money to do all of this. And we also do outreach. Our family services program is our social service program. They work with all of our families that are getting into our program. They verify that the family has a need for housing, the ability to afford a home, and a willingness to partner. If you watch the news, if anybody watched Channel 19 or Channel 48 this past weekend, you may have seen a set of keys being handed over to our family. We just dedicated a house in Huntsville. That home is not given away. So those homes are actually sold to the families. We sell them at market value, so we don't negatively impact the community value of homes and community. But the mortgage they pay back to us is for what it costs us to build. If it costs us $150,000 to build a home, mortgage is $150,000. Difference between us and your local lenders, though, we finance those loans at Habitat. We do so at 0% interest. Before you ask, no, you cannot refinance your home through Habitat. I've tried, our board continues to turn me down every time. But it's a 0% interest. We pull it right out of the good book, Exodus 22:25. God called down to Israel, said, if one of my people among you is in need, don't be like a money lender, charging no interest. Home sold at cost, land, infrastructure, construction, 0% interest, 30-year mortgage. Mortgage payments right now are around $550 a month. So we're not going to beat that much anywhere. Second part is we are a construction ministry. We bring families, the community, organizations together to help build these homes. We have house leads, volunteers who watch over these home builds. They're like our foremen out there. I remember walking into my first house leader meeting 20 years ago when I started with Habitat. Well, it looked like walking into a room full of my grandfathers. And I tell you, I never been more excited to work with a bunch of guys in my life. They're just been absolutely wonderful. Great teachers and patient. They put up with me, they can put up with anybody. As lending, I mentioned, we also finance our homes in-house. So again, 0% interest mortgage, 30-year mortgage on those homes that we build. Home repairs are done a little bit differently. We finance those off a 5-year mortgage. It's a sliding scale based off the fact where that family's income is. So they may not have to pay anything back. where we keep a loan on the home for 5 years, just to make sure they don't turn around and sell it and take advantage of our donors' good intent. The Restore, if you come down to Huntsville and corner of Pratt and Washington, we've got that Habitat Restore. Not made plans to open one here in Jackson County, but I'm not going to say no. So then find the land and find the opportunity. We'll see what we can make happen. But Restore, we take in donated items, turn around, sell them to the public. It covers a good portion of our soft cost and admin cost. Now, I'm flying through this because the chairman told me I only had 5 minutes, so we're going to get to the meat of the subject here real quickly. So that's what our plan is here in Jackson County. What are we going to do? Well, the first thing is Habitat's a community-run organization. I can come in from Huntsville, Madison County, and tell you we're going to go build a whole bunch of houses, and we're going to bring all this money over to do it. It doesn't work that way. We got to get community support. So we're going to work on developing a network here in Jackson County. We've already started creating an advisory council, our advisory team, which I'll talk to you about in a second. But we're going to bring a couple more people on board with that. We also need to bring on 2 people onto our board of directors. If we're going to serve this county's going to have representation on our board of directors. They meet monthly, so if you're interested, we're looking for 2 people who can come and join our board of directors. I will tell you this, if you're looking to check a box, don't come talk to me. I ain't gonna refer you to our board. I need people who are going to engage. I need people who can help us network. This is a new community for us. We want to build this brand here because we want to serve a lot of families in Jackson County. That's our mission. That's what God has sent us to do. That's what we're going to do. So I need people who can help us move forward with that. We're going to be building a network of support through church sponsorships. Church is our foundation. So that's important, getting businesses. We also have a team that can write grants. So we've already started writing grants for building homes here in Jackson County and doing home repair programs. And I heard the old affiliate had a chili cook-off and they want to see that come back. And we'll see what we can do about making that happen as well. Our home costs is going to run by between $110,000 and $150,000. Home repairs will do anywhere from $100 to $10,000. Again, we're working on, that yellow did not come in good. I'm sorry. Develop community support again is our big key there. Our home repair program, we are looking for a network of contractors who can help us with plumbing, HVAC, electrical, foundation work, and roofing work. We're looking for that group of volunteers. So if your church likes getting out there and doing building homes and doing repairs, give me a ring and we'll see what we can do to put you all to work. Hollywood is where we have a community. The old affiliate had built about 10 homes in this community. We have 11 lots that are available. We're going to be working on developing this hopefully over the next couple of years. We're getting ready to, we're actually having a meeting next week with Lambert Contracting to start talking about how to do infrastructure for that property. We're going to have to run water in there, sewage. We also have already talked to North Alabama Electric Co-op to already move some lines. So I can tell you right now, we're excited to get going. We ain't gonna play around. We're gonna get building some homes. We have a total of 13 lots. Like I said, 11 of those are in Hollywood. 2 I think are in Flat Rock. I haven't visited them yet, so I gotta get up there. But we're on Willis Shavers Street. Again, we gotta run water. We gotta work on some drainage issues. Again, we've already talked to North Alabama Electric Co-op. We do have a spot that's in a flood zone. One of my priorities is to get that out of the flood zone. I've been told it's never flooded. Mayor Hollywood told me in 30 years that place has never flooded. So we'll be working with FEMA to get that out of the flood zone and hopefully not only save those families from having to pay flood insurance, but there's a property or 2 back there that are also under a flood zone. I'd like to get them out, help those neighbors out because we're about community support. So resources, what do we bring to the table? Well, the affiliate that was here, we worked with them prior to them closing their doors to get all their mortgages paid off. We then got those funds and we have over $375,000 in cash. We can use that for infrastructure work, but I'm hoping I can work out some deals and get that infrastructure done at no cost or little cost, and we can start building a couple of homes. We need a lot of volunteers, and then we need some volunteers to come out and work with us to, again, be on our advisory council, help us spread out the word on the outreach. Told me to talk fast, I'm talking fast. So what we have right now is on our advisory team, we have Brittany Lambert, Drew McNutt, Gina Hall, and Travis Beatty. I'd like to add 2 or 3 more members, particularly maybe a realtor, another individual maybe that's involved in development, and then someone, again, who can help us out with community connections. We're looking for community leaders, churches, businesses, local government to come in and be engaged. We're looking again to add members to our board of directors as well as our advisory council as a whole, 2 to 4 members from there. And I think I've got a lead on one of those advisory council members. And finally, people ask me about a timeline. When can we start building? Well, if I can get the ball rolling on the infrastructure work in December 2024, at least getting that ball moving to extend Willis Shavers Road, we might be able to finish a house up by June 2026. What we know, and I'll say this, what we know is this community, I was told that maybe not the best business decision for a nonprofit to come move into Jackson County. I disagree. This is a community that I know that cares about its people. I know it's a community that wants to see its people rise up. They want to give a hand up, not a handout. And we're excited to be a part of that. We're looking for families who need home repairs right now. We want to work with local subs to help us do those home repairs, as well as when we get ready to build some homes. There's some things that we sub out, like the foundation, electrical, the plumbing, the HVAC. We want to use Jackson County businesses to do that. My job is not to bring Huntsville or Madison County businesses over here. So if I get a better price out there, I'm probably going to do that because I want us to be respectful of our donors' money. But I want to make sure that we're also we're using local businesses. Because again, this is about community coming together, and it includes local businesses. I'm gonna tell you one thing I do have in hand. We've been mentioning ARPA a good bit. Habitat affiliates statewide got $15 million. We got $1.4 million of that for our affiliate. 1.2 for new construction, $200,000 for home repairs. I cannot use any of that new construction money to build homes in Jackson County because they all got to be closed out by December of next year. And unless there's a miracle, which always can happen, it's going to be real tight to be able to do that. But I do have those as money that I need to use up by December next year in home repairs. So if you have individuals who are in need of simple, minor to moderate home repairs, energy efficiency work, replacing HVACs, they got to be owner occupied. They need to be on a fixed structure. So we can't work on trailers or mobile homes, but we can work on homes that are on a foundation. And they can go to our website at habitatrivervalley.org. There's a drop-down menu. And click on that, get an application started, and we're moving. We're moving real fast through that. So I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to speak.
Let me say thanks. Let me open up any questions.
No question, but thank you for taking us on. Your organization is top notch. I've never heard any negatives, all positives. So thank you for extending your work into Jackson County.
Well, thank you
Much
for having us
appreciated.
as a partner in the community. We're excited to be a part of this community, and we're looking for good things to happen. So if you ever need anything, you've got my personal cell phone right there. You call me, and I'll drop what I'm doing and come see you. The county commissioner from Limestone County keeps calling me right now. I'm ignoring, so I'm talking to you. Yes, sir.
I was actually part of the board that founding of Willis Shavers. We actually did the infrastructure, we cleared the land, did the roads, the infrastructure, the whole 9 yards, phase 1 of that. And I dug several of the foundations, cleared land for most all those homes over there in my company. So I'm well familiar with that. And I sit on that board for a number of years down here in Scottsboro. It just kind of fizzled out with the folks that were involved, but there were some really good folks involved. Jim Olace on the engineering side, and Mr. Walter Prank and all those guys. They worked really hard, but it just kind of fizzled out. And I'm involved with another organization that works hand in hand with Habitat. Habitat actually has an open checkbook with infiltrated water technologies for septic related products.
I do. I've already signed off on 2 septic tanks.
So, and I'm actually over the helping hand of Alabama for septic systems in Alabama. So we work hand in hand all throughout the state doing free septic systems for folks in Alabama.
So I will say thank you for that, because I just got the email from our state association, which I sit on the board of directors for. They announced today that program's going statewide. It was not moving statewide, and Jackson County was the only county taking advantage of that.
That's right. We had a lot of roadblocks with the local chapters statewide trying to do things statewide.
Well, we were excited to do it. And I know Brandon Dixon, our executive director, was excited to see that happen. When I told him about it, he was like, we're going to find a way to make this happen. So we're excited to do that. We've already signed off on 2 with the local health department. Already sent those letters over. So we're excited.
I've already delivered the chamber for that.
There you go. We've already served 2 families. So there we go. Anything else?
Jeremy, thank you very much.
Thanks, Chairman.
Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Y'all have a blessed
Thanks
evening.
for taking time to be here.
Anytime.
Yes, sir. Next, under commission is the 2025 holiday schedule. That is just in your packet for review. It is consistent, with the state of Alabama, holiday schedule for 2025. The one exception, is Juneteenth. We've added that. We have supported that, as the state has each year, so we've just included it in the Jackson County proposed 2025 holidays. We will put this on the agenda for our next meeting, for approval. Remaining ARPA funds, we have remaining, and due to some of the projects that we have that has come in at less cost than what we had projected. So we have remaining $7,621.36 that we need to have committed or obligated by 31 December this year. We have had a request, if you remember, from a group representing Cumberland Mountain Park in Skyline. They had a number of items that they requested support for. So let me ask Mayor Skipper if he would have discussion of some recommendations for those funds. This is an opportunity to provide $7,600 to support the Skyline activity.
Yeah, first, I want to thank you. We've got several projects. Our park board had presented to y'all a couple months ago. Several. I emailed Misty this morning one project that we've already got a quote that we think we can put forward before the December and get it done actually in time, and that's to resurface our basketball court. We'll put 1.5 inches of asphalt across it, and that would make a basketball / pickleball court at the Cumberland Mountain Park. We currently have a basketball / tennis court, but it's the asphalt's about, it's got a lot of cracks in it, stuff like that. It's quite old. So this right here will help us. It won't pay for it, but it'll pay for almost half of it. So
okay. Any questions? We have reached out to IEC. They support this effort, and they can get the paperwork done in time for us to, with the quote that you have, the time for us to be able to be by 31 December. So if no questions, we'll put it on the agenda for next meeting, new business. Is that right? Okay. Thank you. Next on the item is compensation for circuit clerk staff members who provided assistance to the absentee election manager. Circuit clerk Bart Buchanan came to me and asked if we could help compensate the 2 of his employees who worked overtime to support this effort. It is a function of the commission and the county to do this, to support the work with absentee balloting. They started this effort about 40 days before the election. I will tell you, they were very busy throughout those 40 days. This is not to pay for hours that they work during normal business hours. It is to help compensate them for the work they did in overtime. We have gotten information from the state and Adjutant General's determination that this is certainly authorized for the circuit clerk to use employees for this role and for the county commissions to pay. We had our county attorney take a look at this, and given that it is overtime work, non-regular hours work, the commission is authorized to do this, and it would be the commission that would pay for this effort as their responsibility for elections. So the circuit clerk has asked for us to consider this. In discussions with the circuit clerk, I would recommend a $50 a day that would be $2,000 per employee for the 40-day period for the overtime work that they did. It was some days a couple hours, some days maybe 3 hours of overtime work. So let me open up for any questions.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, if not, we will put it on the new business agenda for the next meeting. Next item is regarding personnel policy. I want to give each of you, we have, based upon the review we had with the commission, about a month and a half ago. We have gone back with Hope Hicks and with John Porter, we made some adjustments to the policy. I will, with the help of Michelle's, cover changes that areas of changes that we made, and you can throw them in your packet. If you'll go to page 7 in the packet, you remember that with the budget, we approved as an employee of the county meets a 5-year milestone, that they would be given a step raise with meeting that. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. So each time they cross that milestone, they would their pay would be increased by a step. And that's a 3% raise. Next item that we looked at was call-out pay, page 11. Call-out pay in previous was for public works, and that is a situation when they're called out unexpectedly. The call-out pay was set at overtime pay, minimum of 3 hours. If they work more than 3 hours, it was the full amount of hours that they received. So I will say we did call and talk to the Alabama Department of Transportation. They do not do that. But in our discussion, and we sat down with Chris to take a look at this. Given the situation we know our employees have with the fact that compared to our neighboring counties, we are still below the compensation rate on an hourly basis. We think this may help us. So the approach we took and we're recommending is that we leave this in place, but rather than just being public works, this applies to all departments and all employees across the county that are called out for emergency situations where we need them to come in and unusual. Examples for that would be, if you remember, when our director of maintenance had to come in one night because we had a serious situation with overheating of one of our elevators. So Mike here working that and made sure that there was no danger to the courthouse. So the approach here is to make it available to all departments and all employees. The other is the on-call policy, which also applied to public works. That policy allows if somebody is put, for example, a week on call duty, that every day they get at least 1 hour of overtime pay. If they're called out and on call, they would go then to a call out. They would get 3 hours of overtime pay as a minimum. And if they work more than that, they would get the number of hours they work. There are certainly conditions in other departments that would warrant having an on-call roster. And the one I would certainly say is the park. And we all know that they get called out at all hours, weekends. So what this does is on page 12, it changes it from public works to employees of all departments. Next area that we had discussion was on page 16. That's the grievance procedure. The recommendation that we had gotten from the state was a bit different than our previous grievance procedure. As we got to look into this and based on request to look at it, we thought our old procedure read a lot better, was easier to understand, and we thought it was good to go back to the old procedure. On page 25, we did have a discussion about dress code. that evening. The last time we met, we had a discussion. It had a lot of examples in there. We've taken that out. And this basically gets to where the county certainly seeks to project a positive image and promote professionalism. And so the dress would be appropriate to a manner consistent with the job title that you have. It also authorizes the directors to set some uniform if that's is what they want to do for their employees. Next item that we discussed was promotions. Page 37. In summary on promotions, we go through the processes we previously approved to accelerate promotions, so we're not waiting on the commission sometimes 2 or 3 weeks to approve that when we need to get somebody in the job. But the other thing that we looked at doing here, and we would recommend, is that when someone is promoted, with the old policy, they would go to the new grade, the appropriate grade for the position, and to a step 1. We would propose to you that rather than doing that, we go to the appropriate grade, but we keep the individual at the step they have been able to achieve over time. And so that the minimum of a 6%, but sometimes that step is going to be more than 6% raise for the employee. So if someone's a step 5, they would go to a step 5 in the new grade, as an example. Next item we talked about was demotions. A voluntary demotion, we would move to the appropriate grade and their current step. So we would keep them at the step level, but it would go to the appropriate grade for the job and that job would have to be something that is available and open. But it would be a minimum of a 6% reduction. That is on page 38. Next item that we talked about was the disciplinary procedures. It's really workplace rules of conduct and progressive discipline. This is another case with the recommendation we got. It was not consistent with the old policy. When you look at the old policy, that we currently have in place, it's much easier to read, much easier to understand, and certainly has a progressive grievance policy for our employees. And we propose going back to the previous policy with that. And so again, that's on page 56, and for several pages in that we have where changes have been made to make sure that we follow the previous procedure. The handbook that we have handed out to our employees for years, even though it's a 2005 handbook and it's been superseded a couple of times, does have in the forward a statement that says that we will post changes to personnel policy in offices for 10 days. It doesn't request review. It's not another review. It's just posted there for information to the employees. Given that we have handed that book out with that, I propose that we consider that as we approve this. So we would put this on the agenda for the next meeting to approve the personnel policy. One thing to make everybody understand that in doing that, promotion and other procedures that we would propose adding will not be effective until 2 weeks from now with this. So, so this is available. We will post a copy, one copy in each department for employees to take a look at if they want. And we will, if one's okay, let me first open up for comment from anyone. Any comments? Okay. Okay, putting it on new business next meeting. Okay, so we will do that. Michelle, thanks for the work that you guys have done. I know you guys have been working on this for almost a year now. Thank you. Next item on our work session is, solid waste. So let me turn it over to, Director Scott. One of the requirements that we have is to have a solid waste management plan, and ours has expired. So, Director Skip.
Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I have several things to bring up. The first thing is the solid waste management plan. I kind of typed up some stuff, so I'll be reading that way I don't miss anything. I've reached out to two companies for quotes. That's a good. I knew we had a plan. I did not know that these expired every 10 years. We got a letter from Labella letting us know that ours is expiring this year. So I brought it before the chairman and we discussed, and I told him I would get some quotes together and bring them before y'all. So the first quote I got was from Labella. It's $25,000. It breaks it down what all they do. And then the second quote I got was from CD&G. Their first quote was $30,000, and then I sent them both our current solid waste management plan from 2014 to let them review to see if they can reduce the quote, because the first two that they quoted were a little bit more than what we needed. I believe it kind of had some landfill stuff that we don't have. So C&D has reached back out. This is their new estimate is 25,000. Labella is saying 25,000, but possibly less. They'll just charge us what we do. So and so how this also outlays is each city, each municipality under section 22-27-47A in the Code of Alabama says that each municipality has to have a solid waste plan, management plan. They can work underneath the county plan. In 2014, the city of Scottsboro opted out. So that says they went and got their own. So we would reach out to all the municipalities and say, hey, are you going to provide your own, or are you going to operate under ours? So the more that we have, if all the rest of the 12 work underneath the solid waste plan, then it'll probably be 25,000. But if, say, City of Stevenson does their own, or Bridgeport, then it could be cheaper. So I'll reach out to them on that. Do y'all have any questions?
We charge those municipalities to work under.
So we can, that statute says that we can charge each municipality based off the population. We didn't last time. So that'll be a further discussion. I talked to a gentleman from ADM, and he says that it's one of those things that if you say, hey, you got to pay, they don't have to pay, but then they have to have their own, and then we can't mandate them getting it. That's up to the state. So.
No question.
I assume this is something that we have to have a contractor to do. It's not something we do.
Have you been pleased with Labella?
Well,
with the previous
so
10 years?
actually, the last one was actually a different company.
Okay.
They're no longer in service, or they're no longer open anymore. Labella, I kind of did some digging up. I think Labella is probably the best one in the state. This is what they mostly do. From other solid waste in counties, they've used them. Now C, D, and G, they're great too. I think these are the two that I would recommend. That's why I got the quotes for the whole state.
Any other questions?
I believe LaBelle is actually in the process of doing the city of Scottsboro right now.
Well, the point of this is we have to have one, or what are the issues that we must recognize if we do not have a plan?
So talking to the state, we had to comply with the law. So it just depends on if they want to come after us or not.
Yeah. I asked the question, make sure everybody understood out there. It is a requirement by the
Yes, sir.
state that we have this plan. Okay. I think a fair question about do we charge if we incorporate municipalities in, what would be an appropriate cost? I think it's something you need to look at. Certainly ask if they want to roll into the plan.
Especially municipalities that have their own garbage service. Especially the municipalities that
Yeah.
offer their own service,
Yeah.
that are operating, that will be operating under.
Yeah, because if they already have one, there's no point in them working underneath
So
that.
that's a fair question. Let me ask it this way. We provide garbage service for most of the smaller municipalities in the county.
Correct.
We're doing that based upon just the cost per residential service.
Yes.
We charge them, given that they don't have a garbage service and they're part of our.
I'll have to dig into that, but I don't think we can charge the municipalities that doesn't have their own garbage service.
I wouldn't think that you would charge them because they've contracted with us to provide those services. However, the municipalities that have their own garbage service,
I agree.
it would be a cost savings for them to operate under us, and which I would think we should extend that because they're profiting from their garbage service.
Yeah, so it would be very fair to ask them if they want to call on us and what would be an appropriate fee.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
I agree with that.
All right. Thanks. I know you wanted to give an update on some items.
Yes, sir. Next, we'd like to discuss garbage truck. This is truck 12. Just want to bring to your attention an important issue regarding our garbage trucks. Unfortunately, truck 12 experienced a major failure in its transmission, which required a full replacement. The truck was just 5 months out of warranty. And the cost to replace the transmission came to roughly $28,000. This situation underscores the importance of addressing the replacement of our trucks before the warranties expire. Had we replaced this truck earlier, we could have avoided the significant repair costs of operation downtime. Just want to urge the commission to consider the long-term cost, saving operational efficiencies in our plan. Just kind of pointing out to y'all the 5 months, the warranty on these trucks, it came with a 5-year unlimited mile on the transmission. The truck was 5 year, 5 months. So we have 3 trucks currently that are out of warranty. And just want to bring this to y'all's attention that once it's out of warranty, that, we're eating all the costs. Y'all have any questions on
Any
the truck?
question?
Next, real quick, town of Pisgah. They're one of the towns in the county that contracts with us on picking up their garbage. Their pickup date is Mondays, but with starting January 2025, trash pickup for the town of Pisgah will move from Monday to Tuesday. This change is being made to improve our efficiency and the service reliability. Many of our holidays fall on Mondays. And we often experience higher employee absentees on Mondays. So we're happy to roll the day to Tuesday anyway. So this is causing the customer to put the can out on Monday, expecting the can to get picked up, and then a truck breaks down, employee calls in, or a holiday, and then it pushes back. So I just want to bring that to y'all's attention, let the public know that we've done reach out to the town of Pisgah, let them know. But starting January 2025, the city limits will be picked up on Tuesdays. And then the last thing I want to bring to y'all's attention, hand these out. So next, what I've handed out is this is our commercial front load rate. I'm requesting for a front load dumpster rate increase. We're requesting this rate increase for our front load dumpster service in order to continue providing the high level of service expected while addressing the rising operational costs we are currently facing. New rates, what we are suggesting, you can see it's $20 per month for once a week pickup. $30 to $40 per month extra for twice a week pickup. Depending on the dumpster size. The needs for these rates increase arise from several key factors impacting our business. One is landfill fee increase. Landfill fee has steadily risen over the past few years and projected to continue to increase by 3% annually for the next 20 years. To accommodate these rising costs, we must adjust our rate to cover higher disposal expenses. Two is fuel costs. Our service area spans over 1,000 square miles. Y'all know this county is quite large, which requires a lot of fuel expenditures on our fleet of trucks. With fuel prices continue to fluctuate and rise, we must factor these additional operating costs in our rates. And then equipment costs. The cost for dumpsters, garbage trucks, and other necessary equipment having been increased or have been increasing. These investments are critical in maintaining and upgrading our fleet, ensuring that we can provide reliable service to all our customers. And last, operational expense. In order to maintain timely service, we have expanded our operation by running 2 garbage trucks and are in the process of securing a backup vehicle to ensure reliability. While these expansions help us meet increasing demand and serve our growing customer base, it also contributes to higher operational costs. And we understand price adjustments may be inconvenienced, but we are essential to keeping up with the rising expenses, ensuring to continue to provide dependable, efficient service. We greatly appreciate you understanding and continue support, and we strive to meet solid waste management needs timely and professional manner. Thank you. And do y'all have any questions on this?
Any question?
Yeah, how does this compare to competition?
Yep. So I knew you was gonna ask that. Wrote it down somewhere.
It's just
So Republic Service is our probably our number one competitor in Jackson County. They are right now at our current rate, they're right now $50 to $60 more a month per dumpster. So with a $20 increase, and I'm sure they're gonna be going up first year too, with a $20 a month increase, we're still gonna be a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
And
I'm just asking because I don't want us to price ourselves out of our advantage.
absolutely. And another thing we gotta look at too is Republic Service, and that's another reason our business is growing too. They're slowly getting out of the county. You can go online right now, and that's what I've done. I went to the 13 municipalities and I tried to place a dumpster at all 13. And pretty much the west side of the county, they won't want to service anymore. So
The other municipalities, how are they priced in relation to this?
I'm only comparing apples to apples, and we can't compare to other municipalities because they're a lot cheaper. Bridgeport and Stevenson.
And when we increased rates before, we didn't do anything for commercial, we just only did residential.
So the last time we did a rate increase was in 2022, and we did a $10 across the board increase.
And that was for commercial.
That was for commercial, yes, sir.
And we did that rate increase for residential, so,
This year.
yeah. This past year.
Yeah, right. So we didn't touch commercial then. So
No, sir.
commercial was long overdue.
Yes, sir.
New business next meeting.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have any questions, you can call me, email me, text me, anything.
How are collections going there?
Sir?
Are you picking up ground on collections or we?
Collections.
Yeah,
Uh,
residential.
so our write-offs have gotten a lot better with our summons, the whole situation with the sheriff's office serving them. We appreciate that. To the circuit clerks issuing it, filling it out, to the DA's office, prosecuting, and the judges, Judge Word. It's all working great, I think. We still have a lot of households in Jackson County that is not on county service. A lot of houses. So what they do with the garbage, I don't know. We cleaned up a spot on County Road 33 Friday. It had the gentleman's RSA letter in it, and it had his prescription bottle in it. So we went to his door, knocked on it, asked him to go clean it up, which we had already cleaned it up, and they weren't on garbage service. So if you're not on garbage service, what are you doing with it? You're throwing it on the side of the road, or you're putting it in your neighbor's can, which is ultimately we're having to dump it, and then we're paying for the tip fee. So if we can get people on service, everybody that's supposed to be, then potentially we won't have to raise the cost of it.
All right, anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next up, Public Works, we took the last time to take a look at the remaining 2024 road program and provide a recommendation on order.
Thank you, Chairman. So there were some preliminary discussions about where to start and when to start. And so hopefully this format is familiar to you. And I'm looking at the sheet and green boxes. It should remind you of the roads during selection time. And I could probably start this best by explaining the green boxes and not green boxes. So first off, at the very bottom of the page, 175, you'll notice the green check marks because those projects are complete currently. The boxes that are not green were left out for a couple of different reasons. County Road 326 and County Road 322 are higher ADT roadways. County Road 475, County Road 103 are higher density residential adjoining the roadway there. So for those reasons, we don't recommend necessarily that being a starting place during the winter months in prep paving. The other roads listed, there's order, you'll notice, as suggested out there. 220 Parnell Circle, both of those, we would offer up as good candidates to start. Janelle Iris, 133.98. All of those, in our opinion, are good candidates for work during the winter months, with the understanding that the road reclamation process will occur first, and then some time, obviously, with base material as the surface. County Road 54, I left that out of everything I just mentioned, and I'll add that the process for road reclamation will be full depth reclamation. That will also be consistent with County Road 42. So that may potentially be interjected wherever that aligns with the work planned on 42. So that's going to be contractor schedule driven. So we know with fair certainty that we're looking at springtime for that work, but it could be earlier or later, and it may disrupt the order that's suggested there by the green boxes. So that's really our thought process, but none of this is earth shattering. So if it's just a suggestion, if you guys, from a discussion standpoint or collectively would like things rearranged or in different orders for whatever reasons, it's probably fine. So,
Let me ask a question on doing prep work over the winter. There, I would suspect there are gonna be cases where we're gonna have heavy rains and you'd have to go back on some of these roads later.
hard ADT roadways lend themselves to potholing and erosion of that surface. So during the reclamation process, there's gonna be base material added. The existing pavement will be reclaimed into the base. So that would serve as a subgrade stabilization. The new base material is added and it's reprofiled. That's gonna make a sudden improvement in about every case I can look and see here. The recurring maintenance happens with higher traffic roadways, wet weather conditions, et cetera.
So if you look at then paving in the spring, these roads that have been prepped here would be first also in order of paving, getting your paving crew out. Is that Charlie Watts or who's doing that now for them?
So yes, the annual bid was awarded to Watts Inc. And yes, at the beginning of when the specifications will allow paving, these roads would in theory be ready and waiting.
Okay, there'll be no questions. Chris, you. Well, let me ask one more. I'm trying to make sure I understand. 54 and 42 would be when allowed. That's when you get with them, and those are hot mix roads.
So 42 is not on the sheet because that's a
Yeah,
different category of
that's
roadways.
in the bottom.
But the same process for reclamation, the full depth reclamation, but as you probably recall, there was an annual bid award for full depth reclamation. So that's a separate contractor service. That is planned for 54 and that is planned for 42 as a component of that resurfacing. So we will align those at the same time that contractor moves in to do both those projects at the same time.
All right. Thanks, appreciate the time. We this next, I think you have a recommendation on County Road 236.
So on the back of your sheet, there is a resolution. Mr. Hamrick should have the actual letterhead version. So changing gears, by default, paved county roads speed limit unless otherwise posted is 45 miles per hour. That works generally for a lot of roads, but all roads all the time, that's not appropriate for. County Road 236 is an example. And the reason that we present this resolution to you, the conditions found to exist on County Road 236 are not reasonable and safe with a 45 mile per hour posting. So we present to you a 25 mile per hour posting for your consideration in this resolution. And to change the speed limit on a road, it requires your approval in doing so. The 25 mile per hour recommendation is set forth to you by engineering study and traffic analysis. So those traffic counters are placed out there. The study is performed and then we arrive at an 85th percentile speed. That speed limit is based on the premise that most drivers operate reasonably safe and the roadway conditions essentially set their own speed limit. So that's a recognized practice in setting the speed limit and recommendation, and the 85th percentile mark on speed is the mark that we go by with the tolerances allowed. So that's what's represented in this resolution, and with your approval, we'll change that speed limit to 25 instead of 45.
Any question?
That's the old Highway 72 at Mud Creek, correct?
No, sir. 236 is, it's in the town of Paint Rock. So it attaches to the eastbound lanes of 72 and it travels north from 72 to the dead end. It's high residential density and sharp horizontal curve in the midsection of that roadway.
Okay. All right. New business next meeting. Is that okay to wait
Yes, sir.
till then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll put that on the agenda.
Thank you all.
All right, thanks very much. That's our last item in our work session. So at this time, reports from the staff, county administrator.
Nothing.
County engineer, Jonathan, you got anything else?
Just, if you would all, and I know you're already thinking that, but just the Jones family and your thoughts and prayers at this time. He leaves behind two young children, extended family and special friends. So our thoughts and prayer with that family at this time.
Thanks very much. Any other comments, Sheriff? Al?
I have one thing, Mr. Chairman. Prior to COVID, the county jail housed inmates for municipalities outside the county, Old Crossroad, Al and New Hope. We had a contract with them. That contract called only for the food bill to be paid. I'm working on a contract now that once the county legal looks over it, I'd like to present to you folks to charge them what it actually costs to house their inmates. New Hope is losing their place that they have been housing because of some changes over at Marshall County. Huntersville, I understand, it's not going to have a jail, so they had to take Huntersville inmates, so they're not taking New Hope. So until we can get this new one approved, we will honor our agreement that we had with them and house their inmates to help them out of the pinch.
Everybody okay?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much, Al. Appreciate that. At this time, comments from the commission, District 4, Commissioner McBride.
Just like to extend my condolences to the Jones family as well. Wish everyone a happy and safe holiday season, Thanksgiving, and don't forget to watch the Iron Bowl.
I won't comment on that, but I want to echo everything District 4 Commissioner McBride said. I do want to brag on Public Works. I went and walked the upper part of the mountain gap there at on 38. That's looking great. Thank you for all that. I know that's been a slow process, but I think that's going to be something that we can take our grandkids to one time and say, oh, let me tell you how this road used to be, but it's been solid ever since. And so thank you for doing it right. I appreciate that.
Okay, District 1, Commissioner Dillon.
I echo the comments, prayers for the Jones family, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Just like to thank all the employees for the work that they put in, the job that they do for the county.
Yeah, I echo everything everybody has said. To our county employees, have a safe and happy Thanksgiving Day. I've got a couple of days off and glad to get the opportunity for that. With that, our next meeting is scheduled for December the 9th. It is scheduled here at 5 o'clock. So at this time, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Do we have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye. Meeting.